Saenchai still f***ing people up at like 37 years old.
Everyone at the seminar was just in awe at the skills of this guy.
And the great city.
Oh my God, and the style so different than everybody else's.
Saenchai occupies a unique place in combat sports. Unquestionably one of the most dominant Muay Thai fighters of all time. Hundreds of wins on his lengthy record over men who have been or would become champions. The Saenchai you get usually depends on the opponent. There is a skill check required to get Saenchai to actually take you seriously. If you didn't warrant that level of serious consideration, it became a game for him, a performance. Every round ends with a smile across his face and a crowd reminded that combat sports are supposed to be fun. Underneath the smile lies a story of poverty that's almost ubiquitous with the top tier of Thai fighters. Saenchai trained because they fed him. He had his first fight at 8 years old after a single week of training. He won 30 baht, which according to yesterday's exchange rate equals out to about 84 cents. Poverty hits different in Southeast Asia. The seriousness of starvation hangs over his early career. As he matured into one of the modern masters of his art, the seriousness gave way, and Saenchai grew into the greatest troll in all of striking. He evolves from another underappreciated defensive genius into the greatest ambassador for the modern sport of Muay Thai. In his most basic form, Saenchai runs the classic Southpaw playbook. The left straight and liver kick, responsible for the lion's share of the actual damage that he does. He uses his lead hand to shut down his opponent's jab. Uses his feet to seek lead foot dominance, where he can step to the outside of his opponent's lead foot. This allows him to make up for his comically short reach and land with his power. He steps past his opponent's foot and lines up the left hand high or low. A second step in that same direction allows him to drag a knee or kick through on a squared-up opponent. He loves to smother the hands while kicking. Or using footwork to prevent a jab or hook from interrupting his slower but more powerful attacks from his legs. In the clinch, his stocky build allows him to yank his opponents off balance.
Watching these elbows closer tonight. Saenchai very strong in the clinch, Vinny. Very strong.
One of his more outlandish techniques in the clinch is the climbing elbow. By planting the instep of his foot on the top of his opponent's knee, it shuts down their offense. He literally climbs up the taller fighter to deliver an elbow to the top of their head. Those who retreat end up at the far end of a left kick. The true brilliance to Saenchai is his feinting. He loves to feint a kick, which is usually enough to trigger a retreat in his opponent that allows Saenchai to then throw the kick for real. His ability to draw reactions with his feints and then take advantage is a huge part of his offense.
Well, they know they've got a lot of ground to make up now. Double kick off that left leg from Saenchai. Have a look at the quick, fast footwork, Saenchai.
It also dovetails into his endearing habit of trolling that he brings to a fight. The most eye-popping of his defensive decisions has to be his near supernatural ability to simply lean away from head kicks. It's a level of confidence that borders on hubris. It's a habit that requires a lifetime of mastery to bring to his level of reliability. It's the same principle that the old-time boxing trainers warned would get Muhammad Ali and Prince Nassim killed one day. It's also near impossible to learn without a few concussions in the process. Saenchai's judge of distance and supernatural reflexes make it look casual. He moves as little as possible, firing a counter kick before his opponent gets their feet back under them. Most fighters block body kicks with the forearm. Saenchai uses an extra layer of defense against body kicks. By lifting his leg high along with his forearms, he's able to absorb and deflect the heaviest of kicks. He's got an uncanny ability to catch kicks when he can trap his opponent's ankle and force them onto one leg. From there, he fires that left leg at the liver or goes under the raised foot to attack the planted leg. As he goes for the back leg, he'll lift the trapped foot completely, breaking his opponent's balance, dumping them into a heap on the floor. At mid-range, the straight punch plays off the round kicks. This basic dynamic underscores one of the most wildly creative kicking games that Muay Thai has ever seen. With a bit of distance, Saenchai's arsenal opens up. He loves to step through with a teep that breaks his opponent's stance. But this basic strike often sets up more unorthodox leaping techniques, like the axe kick or push kick to the face. His signature cartwheel kick, he'll occasionally try to arc in over the top of the guard. Sometimes he'll launch himself into the air only to throw a basic inside leg kick. When it works, you can almost feel his opponent's disappointment in falling for it. If the low kick starts drawing a reaction, the question mark kick takes advantage, drawing the defense down before arcing upstairs to check the chin. On that alone, he's worth a watch. His career in Thailand is legendary, and you'll find the most serious version of Saenchai tends to come out when taking on people who came up in equally brutal poverty. Saenchai was strict on weight when it came to fighting his fellow Thais. He'd pretty much square up with any foreigner under 6 feet. He routinely gives up as much as 20 pounds to fighters from abroad and will gladly travel to your hometown to make you look foolish in front of your friends and family. Saenchai the performer is completely unique. He's a man of impeccable vibes. He looks and moves like a level 100 wood elf. His demeanor is a cheery mix of a friendly circus lion tamer and Bob Ross from The Joy of Painting. The knockouts end up feeling like happy accidents. He sets himself the goal of trolling his opponent by using one of his open countering opportunities to plant a kiss on the cheek of a professional fighter, most of whom are actively trying their best to take his head off, which is a level of trolling only ever previously accomplished by powerful fictional entities like Michael Corleone and Bugs Bunny. He's got a physical charisma and total comfort with his art that his in-ring ability is mostly instinct. Saenchai throws a kick with the same nonchalant perfection of a lifetime of practice. His greatness is best expressed in an artistic sense. Some only gravitate to combat sports for the inherent hostility. Art is subjective, and beauty largely exists in the eye of the beholder. But numbers don't lie. Saenchai had his first fight in 1988 and his last so far in 2024. During that time, his professional kickboxing record sits at 327 wins in 378 fights, winning over 85% of his fights. Put into an overall sporting perspective, Serena Williams won just under 85% of her women's singles matches. Magnus Carlsen wins about 40% of his chess games. But only Saenchai is routinely operating at such a high level in the context of combat. The fact he does what he does against opponents handed every advantage in size and venue is astounding. He is one of the only men in history who can travel the world and have every crowd treat him like the hometown hero. He's one of very few people that fellow fighters feel like it was an honor to lose to. For decades, he was unequivocally the greatest ambassador for his art the world had ever seen. He posted staggering numbers and displayed outrageous ability. Speed is a passing thing. Iron chins come and go. But when the history of Muay Thai is written, Saenchai's legacy will be far less about the fights he won or lost. He made overcoming horrific poverty and hundreds of professional fighters look like so much fun. What will mean most to Muay Thai fighters was infectious joy with which Saenchai played his favorite